Hey world. Hey everyone. It's Gabrielle. How's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All in and through love. So this is just a heart to heart to adults. To adults. And if you are the youth and you're watching this, may God grant you and give you his wisdom along with understanding. Okay. So I just want to share something with you that I've learned by studying adults. I'm a people watcher. I sit back and I watch and study and see into people. One thing that grieves my heart, and I know it grieves God's heart, is even though he created us physically with the most dangerous weapon between our ears, notice I didn't say between your legs, between your ears, which is also your moneymaker, is between your ears. The sad part with most of you adults is you don't choose to use common sense. And here's the words that I hear. When I look at the majority of adults, I'll say about 95 to 97% of you adults function in stupidity. You function like a fool. Your ways, your lifestyle is foolish. You function like a simpleton. You function like someone who has no brain. And you don't choose to apply common sense, and you refuse to receive God's wisdom along with understanding, like he suggested in Proverbs, the book of Proverbs in the Bible. Why am I saying this? I watch how people drive. A lot of you adults, you are out of your mind. Your mindset is so demonic. It's so satanic. Your mindset, you have such a horrible mindset. Your thoughts, just the behavior of your mind. You can tell if you watch how people drive, it's telling you who they serve. It tells you how their lifestyle is. I kid you not. Look at how people drive. It tells you about their character, their personality, what's going on mentally, what's going on spiritually. A lot of people, when I watch them drive, they need healing and deliverance, but they have to choose to let God do the work within them and heal them and deliver them. Let's see what else. It's very sad. So many adults, from parents, coaches, professors, teachers, preachers, spiritual leadership, you all do not choose to receive God's wisdom along with understanding. And this is why the world is not going to get better until adults, we as an adults, choose to get God's wisdom, not demonic wisdom, not your cultural wisdom, not what you think or your truth. God said, get his wisdom, and with all your getting understanding. If you don't know what God's wisdom is, I strongly and lovingly and joyfully suggest and encourage you to go to the book of Proverbs in the Bible and study that book scripture by scripture. Take your time and listen to God's wisdom. That is how you see the good before we was created. That's how you saw the good. When you get God's wisdom, you realize that marriage is not hard or difficult. Marriage only became hard and difficult because of us adults. So a lot of things I see, even with a lot of people, when I'll give you some examples, even when it comes to their parenting, how they do parenting, it's very foolish, sometimes demonic, satanic to watch, sad to see. That's very foolish of you as a parent to not see God about the destiny of the human that you're carrying. That's also stupid, actually. It is stupid. It's stupidity. Anytime you find out you're pregnant as a female, don't abort the baby. Seek God about the human he chose out of the semen of the male you had a booty call with, a one night stand with, a threesome with, a menage a trois with, a orgy with, swinging with, whatever sin you chose to do. If it was a sin, the wrong person you married, the seed in that semen is not the wrong human God chose to be here. Just because you choose to do the wrong things don't mean God made a mistake. Just because a child or someone wasn't your plan to be here doesn't mean it wasn't God's plan. Because God said his ways are not your ways and his thoughts are higher than yours. So that's stupidity to abort something that God chose and was intentional about to be here and desired to be here and chose to be here. Because you're here. If that's the case, you should be aborted. You shouldn't be here. Or you should abort yourself, right? So anyway, that's something I want to share with you. I think it's so important. It's so important for you as an adult. I think you should give God a try if you haven't yet, or if something happened to you with people in ministry, or you don't understand some things on why things happen to certain family members in your life or your parents, I think you should give God a chance to communicate with you, because he's been trying to for years and decades. But this stupidity, this foolish lifestyle you have, this foolish mindset, this thinking, your backward sinful lifestyle, your simpleton ways, being so easily drawn away by lust of the flesh, not just sexually, but also when it comes to possessions and things and money. You know, lust is not just sexual. It's also concerning things and people, you know, your ways, your behaviors, so it's so sad to say that, but it's the truth. A lot of you as adults, and a lot of you are so naive and gullible. You have to face, where did this naive spirit come from? Like, why are you so naive? What did you inherit that from? Was it your parents, the bloodline? Why are you so gullible? Why do you let people treat you like anything and you don't think nothing about it? Because that's also stupidity and foolery. And that's a sign that you have a severe identity crisis. And one of the roots is, the problem is your parenting foundation, more than likely, whether you was raised in church or not. Because God said to our parents, train your children up in the way they should go. God already see you a single parent. If you seek God about the destiny of that baby, because it is your fault as a parent. If you don't seek God about how to raise that child, regardless of how they got here and your actions that you chose to do, even though God warned you repeatedly, that's shame on you. That's very wicked. That's really backwards of an adult not to seek God on how to raise a child, even if it's a foster care child or children. The first person being you should run to is the all-knowing, all-seeing, perfect being, capital G-O-D, God. So that's what I want to share with you all. I've noticed this for a while now, and it's so heartbreaking and grieving to see the majority of you adults. You go about life treating common sense, godly wisdom, along with understanding, like they're extinct, like they're a pandemic, like it's non-existent, like God didn't even mention his wisdom and understanding. And this is why the world is getting worse and worse. This is why your children and your household is getting worse instead of better. It makes no sense for you as an adult to go through life and not seek God and get his wisdom and understanding. It helps you with everything in life, from manifesting your wealth, your gifts and talents that God put in you. It helps you with enjoying and understanding singleness. It helps you with seeing into people. God's wisdom and understanding helps you with retrieving back and restoring your common sense. It helps you to reject and come out of a marriage, come out of a covenant with stupidity, foolishness, bad company, gangbangers, counterfeits in friendships, business partnerships, relationships, even in ministry. Receiving God's wisdom also causes you to become one with common sense. It causes you to begin to think before you do, instead of you in stupidity doing and being forced to think because of your consequences. One thing I learned in life is God is simple. He keeps things simple. The problem is with us, because we won't receive God's wisdom along with understanding, we cause to manifest and occur and come from the spiritual to the natural, bad demonic outcomes and consequences, and give Satan an open door and cause Satan to get glorified in so many ways, because we just won't receive God's wisdom along with understanding, which is the John the Baptist to common sense. Sorry about that. To common sense. You choosing with conviction to let God in and seek him first is like the preparation, the John the Baptist to godly wisdom being able to come in along with understanding, starting here. Like, I see people, most adults, do so many dumbfounded things, and in their mind, because they still got their mindset, they still got a narcissistic, tore down, low self-esteem, filled with stupidity, filled with toxicity, filled with ignorance, all kind of stuff from a bad parenting foundation mindset. And this is why God said, let this mind, Let meaning you have to choose with conviction to see that what you got, this mindset starting from your bad childhood that's done grew up into adulthood, into your adult life, and become strongholds in your thoughts, that ain't the mindset to have. You need to do an exchange. Do an exchange because you got the wrong mindset. You have stinking thinking. You have demonic thinking, religious thinking. You have demonic culture beliefs thinking enforced on you from your bad parents, which is also, they got evil and wickedness in them too, because if they chose to let God work on them and open their eyes to see spiritually, they would have saw that their culture beliefs, certain parts has been distorted, perverted, manipulated, demonically tampered with, and demonic. And it's not love. It's not from above. It's satanic in nature. And so I just want to share that right quick with you all. Something that really bothers my spirit when I see this with most of you adults, and it's sad that it's going to remain a majority of a number, with most adults functioning in stupidity, being dumbfounded, functioning without common sense, refusing to go to God and get his wisdom along with understanding, being stupid and functioning like simpletons. Because it's a choice. We have to choose as adults to receive first the mind of Christ so we can stop fighting with God in our actions and lifestyles like as if we are the creator, which is stupidity. A lot of us function like we're the ones who created this world, this, and everything in it. We're not. That's stupid. If anything, we're creation. So with that being said, I thought this is just food for thought. Something to think about and ponder on. That's a sad state to be in as an adult. When you go about life as if God didn't give you a brain, as if God does not provide and say, here, get my wisdom and understanding. As if God don't want you to be free from stupidity, from foolery, from being the fool, a prideful or narcissistic fool, whatever kind of fool you is, a religious fool, whatever kind of fool you is. That's sad for you to go about life, continue to mistreat, be a part, cause problems in your children's lives, cause problems in your relationships, stay married or dealing with the wrong person, going about the child joint custody and co-parenting the wrong way, when all you have to do is just get God's wisdom and study the book of Proverbs and the Bible and listen to God and let him do an exchange. Give up your stinking thinking, your wrong mindset, that stupid mindset, that foolish mindset, that wicked, evil mindset, that religious mindset, that demonic culture belief mindset, our minds. Because you got to remember, most of us, including myself, we did not have a godly, biblical childhood. Our parents were horrible, demonic, satanic, narcissistic, abusive, religious minded, full of different denominations, full of different denominations, saying one thing at church, living another at home. So we got to be willing to let God deal with this mindset, because this here is the reason why our children gonna end up in the police's hands, in jail, in gangs, runaways, babies having babies, getting into stuff, you getting phone calls from school, all kind of stuff. That's why you're enforcing them to go to college when God had never probably even say they needed college. College is not a need. That's something you got to let God deal with your mindset about. Military is not a need. That's something you have to let God deal with your mindset about. That's why God says seek him first. If you're going to choose to be someone that believes in this perfect being who knows everything, sees everything, who's holy, there's no evil in him, there's no sin in him, there's no wrong in him, only the truth, then you have to be willing to let God deal with your mindset and how your mindset became so wicked, filled with stupidity, filled with foolish thoughts and assumptions, filled with the wrong demonic culture beliefs, filled with religiosity. It's such a mess. That's why I call it stinking thinking. A lot of us have stinking demonic thinking, backwards thinking, stupid thinking, foolish thinking, simpleton thinking. If you don't believe me, study the book of Proverbs for yourself. God's wisdom said it. I didn't. I just agree with it because I study you and watch you on a daily basis. And it's just sad how many adults will go about life without putting no thought into why am is certain family members always getting cancer? Or why does alcoholism run in the blood? Y'all don't pay attention to nothing that Satan be doing to your bloodlines. You don't even think. The doctor diagnosed your child with ADHD, autism, all these alphabets, and you just come into agreement with drugging your child up. And really, if you would have asked God, he would have told you that's a spirit. You see it in the Bible. But y'all don't use this. You just come into agreement with what the doctor's saying, and the doctor ain't even in relationship with God. A lot of them are not. They just going by what they learned in school. And then you come into agreement with it like a fool. What a parent. And the child gets worse and more demonically tormented and harassed by a spirit called infirmity. Because that's actually the spirit name. It's a spirit. You'll see it in the Bible. There were children tormented by that same demon. And go study what Jesus did. Get common sense, people. You're parents. Ask God to help you to actually be a godly, biblical parent. Because you're part of the problem when you just let the doctor speak anything of your child. Yeah, it's true that there's a manifestation naturally, but that's a communication from the spiritual realm, spiritually, about a spirit called infirmity. And what's sad is when spirits can see the identity of your child and you're the parent, physically and naturally, and you can't even see. That's sad. When I see parents who demons and Satan know more about your child or your children than you, and you're the parent. You're the one they came through. So that's what I want to share with you. I think, and I don't just think, I know that it's very important for us. I've already chosen to be in love with godly wisdom. I don't have a problem with receiving God's wisdom. I hate stupidity. Every day I see it on somebody, and it'll be adults. It's not even the youth. It's not animals. It's not nature. Every day when I get to be around adults, I kid you not, it's sad how heavy stupidity is within the mindset of most of y'all adults, and foolery. And just being naive and gullible and just letting Satan beat the brakes off you. You believe anything a doctor say, a nurse say, a therapist, you just take them. You take the words of humans like they God. That's stupidity. Because last time I checked, humans are creation. We're not the creator. Use common sense. It's also stupidity to think because we have a title, we're a doctor, a nurse, therapist, or whatever it is, counselor, coach, whatever it is, and think that, oh, they wouldn't do no harm to my child. They're in the daycare. They're a veterinarian. Who told you that? We in flesh. Even Jesus said it. No man is good. He said not even him. Why did Jesus say while he was down here in flesh that even he wasn't good? He was in this. When you in this shell right here, ain't nothing good. He said the only one good is who? God. God don't dwell in flesh. Even God said it. No good thing dwells in that flesh. Because the flesh want to do what it wants, how it wants, when it wants, to and against whomever. It doesn't consider or care about how it's going to affect everyone. It doesn't care. It wants what it wants. It's like a selfish spoiled brat. And you all believe people based on their title. That's stupidity. You should always seek God and say, expose everybody to me. Lead me to connect to the doctor or nurse or whoever that you know I need. That's anointed for this. That's gifted by you for it. Even if they do hair, I don't care what their career field is, what their gift of talent is. Use your common sense as an adult. Stop going by outer and do like Jesus and go by the inward. Good God Almighty. So that's all I'm saying to you in love. I hate stupidity. I hate it like God hates it. I hate it like God's wisdom and understanding hates it. She talks about it a lot in the books of Proverbs. I hate it. I can't stand it. I hate to see people functioning like they don't have a brain, like they're just existing. I hate it when people don't consider God, because he considered you with his only begotten son, and he still chooses to consider you, even though you choose to negate, disregard, invalidate, and tune him out on a daily basis. A lot of us do. If you look at how we function, and when I ask people, did you first ask God and seek him? Kid you not, every time, the majority of the time, the answer is no. Why not? Why not choose somebody who chooses you all the time? Why not? Why not consider somebody who considers you all the time? Why not? Something's wrong with us. The majority of us as adults. Something's really mentally wrong with us. And no pill, no shot, no nothing can fix that. Only God. And it starts with you giving up your will and receiving his will and let him help you and get his wisdom. And with all that, get an understanding. I'm Gabrielle. If you have any questions, please feel free. This is not a tear down. This is tough love. Love is tough at times. Love also chastises. So this is not a tear down. This is just saying, hey, your thinking is stinking. You may want to let God help you and do an exchange. Let him, you give up your mindset from your bad parents and foundation that was so demonic and horrible and filled with religiosity and demonic culture beliefs, and take Jesus' mindset. You come out much better that way. You could be a godly parent that way, a biblical. You can become and be a biblical godly parent. You can be a better spouse. You can become a virtuous woman and wife and no longer stay an immoral, Jezebelic harlot. You know? You can no longer be, you'll be transformed and converted from a deadbeat, abusive, domestic violence, narcissistic male or parent or dad or mom and become a godly biblical parent, husband or wife. You'll become a better spiritual leader. You'll become a better teacher, professor, whatever you're doing, athlete, football player, whatever it is, coach. You'll stop cussing and yelling at the students and do things with love and kindness while also holding them accountable in a godly biblical way. And the list goes on and on. You'll be a better therapist. Instead of you being in it for the money or wondering when the time is going to be up with the session, you'll be actually caring about and seeing the roots to the soul and the feelings and emotions of that vessel. And actually be listening to understand and comprehend and not listening to the degree that you got in a PhD or bachelor's degree or associates as a therapist or a counselor or a life coach. That's all I want to share. It's not a tear down. It's something to push you and propel you to think. Think. And not what you're thinking, but let God give you his only begotten son, Jesus Christ mindset, because we all need to choose to receive God's wisdom and with his wisdom get an understanding. They go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. Period. It's all in and with it through love. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to privately message me respectfully, because we have to choose how we approach each other. And I'm very mindful of how people approach me and how I approach people. Like Jesus said, with love and kindness. So until next time, that's all I wanted to share with you all. Thanks for listening in. Remember, it's free to get God's wisdom along with understanding. The world will be such a better place if you do.